There are many issues arising from this particular matter. We have the procedural issues, the legal issues, and what have you. And it's good that we separate these issues from sentiments. Now, there are legal framework guiding Senate in their activities. What are those legal framework? The Constitution, the Senate Privileges Act, and the Senate rules. These are the legal framework guiding the Senate. Now, if you watch Section 60 of the Constitution, gave the Senate the power to make rules. Just like the Constitution gave the CJN power to make rules for the Supreme Court, gave a power to the President Court of Appeal, power to make rules for Court of Appeal, gave CJ, Federal High Court, power to make rules for the Federal High Court. So the same Constitution under Section 60 gave the Senate power to make their own rules. Then Section 62 of the Constitution also empowered the Senate to establish their own committees. Having said that, if you also watch the Constitution, Section 4, Section 5, Section 6 of the Constitution separated the powers: judiciary, the parliament, and the executive. They have their own powers under separation of power. Then what are we talking about? We are talking about the procedure. Just like ABATI rightly pointed out, you have a good case, you feel that you have a case, you want to present it, why rushing to the media? Why didn't you prepare yourself, go through the rules, prepare a petition, submit it in the House, so that the House can investigate the matter? Lucky enough, you can even go to the police. Lucky enough, the Senate President is not under immunity. He can be investigated by the police. Now, after the media, a lot of issues now came up. You now came back to the National Assembly to present the petition. And that petition is defective. Just like as I am now, if you are going to court and you did not follow the rules of court to file your processes, it will be struck out and you go and refile. Now, the position there is that the Senate now has hinted, Senator Natasha, your petition you brought in is being signed by you. You cannot sign the petition in line with the rules. That one is on that. Then on the issue of court, we continue to say it. When a matter is being filed in court, to stop a particular arm of government from carrying out their own function in line with the Constitution, you don't grant such application via expertise. I will continue to say it. But whichever that is the case, once an order of court is made, no matter how stupid you feel that that order may be, it must be complied with. Now, the question there is that, was that order be made by the Court of Competent Jurisdiction? The answer is yes. Was it served on the National Assembly? Upon receiving that order of court, the National Assembly is expected to suspend every other matter that has to do with that, at least to go back to the court, now that the judge adjourned the matter till Friday, to challenge the jurisdiction of the court to hear that particular matter. They shouldn't have rushed in. What are we saying in here? The procedure, the Senator ABATI breached a lot of the rules and the laws guiding the National Assembly in channeling her case. That is what I would say. I
want to first of all disagree, substantially on the issue of whether or not Senator Natasha has the right, to freely express herself in the media. Of course, the proceedings in the Senate, on the day the issue erupted, arising from receiving her, and during the plenary, was televised, live on the television, and she was later invited by this same television station, where she made very serious allegations, against the person of the Senate President. So these are the issue, these are the substantive issue. So we cannot sweep them under the carpet. The woman is saying, no, what happened at the plenary is not the matter, it's not the main issue. The main issue began day at the house of the Senate President, when he was celebrating his birthday. He said thing to me, a kind of sexual advancement, and she has formally presented a petition for sexual harassment or for attempted sexual advancement against the person of Senator Natasha. That is the substance of the matter. Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Akpabio, cannot be a judge in his own cause. This is a primary and elementary principle of law. He is the Senate President, he is the chairman of the National Assembly, he appoints the chairman of Senate Ethics and Ethics Committee and Petition petition and public petition that has already declared Natasha's petition dead on arrival. So the fact remains that upon this serious allegation that borders on partly on code of conduct of the sitting Senate president, whether or not Natasha can get fair hearing before this committee. So the Senate president should honorably step aside so that Natasha can get justice, so that an independent, unbiased committee on public petition can look into the substance of the allegation of sexual harassment against her person. Nobody sits as a judge on her own cause. These are elementary principles of law. Natural justice and fair hearing. Audi altering pattern. Nemo jude kusaswa. Akpabio, as it stands today, he's the respondent in Natasha's petition. So he would have to be heard. He will appear before the committee to answer the issues that are raised in Natasha's petition. So both parties must be heard. So will there be justice and fair hearing for Natasha? No. Under the presidency of Akpabio as the president of Nigerian Senate, the right thing should be done in this country for once, for Christ's sake. This man, you have an allegation, a heinous allegation of sexual harassment against a sitting senator, and you cannot continue to sit as the Senate president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to preside over her petition against your person. At least we saw what happened yesterday at the plenary. She told the Senate president to his face that what is before the court is the issue of cyberbullying, a statement made by your SA on new media. It is not the same subject matter as to whether or not as to the statement I made on Arise Television, that issue is not yet before any court of competent jurisdiction, that her petition should be accepted, and good at it, she was allowed to lay her petition. Now, what we should be looking at, particularly as lawyers in defense of democracy, as activists, as civil society organizations, is whether Natasha will get justice in the present circumstances. Who is the man presiding over at the helm of affairs of the Senate? Godswill Akpabio. Who is the chairman of the Senate Committee on Public Petition? A man appointed by Godswill Akpabio. Will Natasha get justice in these circumstances? Obviously no. So we are calling on the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Godswill Akpabio, to do the needful. Honorably step aside as the Senate President so that this matter can be thoroughly investigated. And this matter cannot be swept under the carpet. You cannot bully her. You cannot continue, to intimidate her by rejecting her petition, telling her that her petition is dead on arrival, while at the same time you want her to face the Committee on Ethics and Public Petition over her conduct at the plenary. So what we are saying is that if justice must be done, justice must be seen to have been done. These are age-long elementary principles of law, that justice must not just be done, but must be manifestly seen to be done. The Senate rule is subject to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that guarantees every citizen right to fair hearing.
This second lawyer is saying exactly what I have been saying. It's almost like me and this man had a conversation. Hey, God, I am so happy that we still have lawyers who have not sold their conscience. We still have lawyers who have not, how will I put it, who are not spoiled the legal, noble profession. We still have good lawyers in Nigeria who will say things the way they are without any favor. Or, I don't know the word to use. God, I'm so happy. This man, his name is Kingdom Okere. Kingdom Okere. This man, I would definitely want to see this man and meet him because his intelligence, Nigerians are reacting. Immediately they listen to the first lawyer. They say, what is that? This one is a lawyer that if you take him to court, you will lose. When they listen to this man, they say, oh, this man. So we still have good lawyers, sound men like this in Nigeria. Nigerians were reacting and they were asking questions and saying, wow. This man took his time and elaborated and explained. And in fact, he brought us back to when we were doing the Nigerian legal system. He brought us back to when we studied the Nigerian legal system. This was so refreshing to listen to. This second lawyer, Mr. Okereke, this man should be made a senior advocate. The way he even said it, he was not biased. He said the things according to the book. Others, when they're saying Natasha technicalities, they use technicalities to give us what we ordered versus what we got. in elections. Please, we don't want that here again.